Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Superman and Lois, and this is going to be my review for episodes, not 7, 9 for this season, otherwise entitled Loyal Subjects. Big episode, big reveals, and where's this going? But anyway, spoiler alert, if you've not watched the episode, go away. Like, why are you even here? Go away, and then come back later on when you've watched it. If you have watched it and you're continuing on because you're an absolute legend, would be awesome if you could let me know your various opinions in the comments section down below. What did you think of the episode? What did you think of the multiple reveals throughout the episode, especially the ending? Any theories? Who are they? Who are they? We'll talk about it. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, theories, everything like that, opinions. I'm always curious to read them. And of course, if you enjoy the video, you enjoyed the episode, why not drop a like on this video? It would be very cool if you could do that. Why not do it? So last episode was a fairly big episode. We got a lot of resolution with John Henry Irons, who has moved on for now. I'm sure we'll see him again at some point this season, but we didn't have him this episode. There is just this general worry about the future of Superman on this earth and whether the events of John Henry Irons, the one we've been hanging out with, what happened on his earth, whether the events from that earth will happen here. Certain seeds are being planted and certain events have happened the exact same way, which continue in this episode. And we have Morgan Edge lining up his subjects at his company, Edge Intercorp, I think it is, whatever it's called. Yeah, there's some stuff going on. But we do start the episode off with Leslie Lar bringing in someone to Morgan Edge's office, and we see this sort of scene, or her leading someone in multiple times. I think the one at the beginning that we see is meant to be for something, the one at the end, because it takes place in the past, which we'll get to. But I think that's sort of trying to mislead us who Morgan, was so nice to. But this then leads us to seeing Lois and Chrissy doing more investigating and just general research on Morgan Edge and why he's picking out Smallville. This is one of the big mysteries that they've been wondering. Is like, why Smallville? Morgan Edge isn't from Smallville. What's the connection to Smallville here? Is it a coincidence, or is there like a specific meaning? So they dive deeper into that episode, and I was very, very happy with the reveal. But we do see Lois using like external sources such as Clark because of his reporting background to just help her out, and also Lana because of her connections to Morgan, just to help out in general, and just trying to connect the dots as best as they possibly can. And oh boy, do they do some dot connecting. I think that this is probably a PhD in dot connecting throughout this episode, and I was thoroughly impressed. Now, we do see Morgan meeting with Lana's friend Emily, which had happened previously as well. And then we see her going through the process of like the X-Kryptonite thing, while we hear how Morgan enticed her to do it. Now, we hear that Emily has accepted the host. That's what like the dude that was with Leslie and Morgan said, with her then speaking Kryptonian. So they're like putting Kryptonian identities into these subjects. So they're like I think they say the consciousness and just like the mind bank, I don't know what you would call it, into these meat sacks, these hosts, these people of Smallville. But of course, previously we've seen this happen, like all these powered people, and they've died, but there's been a couple that haven't. So what's the connection there? Well, they reveal that later on. Now, Lana does bring the information to Lois, where Morgan's subjects are almost like cult-like in how they're behaving once being brought into his circle, which Lois is, gets onto it very quickly. She doesn't just lay on the information going, oh, that doesn't mean much. It means something, and Lois knows it. So Lois definitely nails everything in this episode in regards to, getting to the bottom of the story like a good reporter should. Now, we did have that scene with Superman stopping the bank robbery in Mexico, which I thought was cool that we went international. But he's starting to feel weird with him eventually passing out, but eventually coming to again and stopping the robbers in that bank. But we then see that he has all these bruises all over his body from the bullets, which shouldn't be happening. Doesn't happen to Superman unless it's like a different sort of material, like a kryptonite bullet or a kryptonite infused bullet, where it might not pierce the skin, but it does that type of damage. So what's going on? But this is then when we see Jordan talking to Sarah, almost to a point where they may kiss, and it's like, hey, Jordan, you're getting there. But he sneezes and it comes out as ice. And I was like, okay, what's going on there? And his powers are sort of out of whack like Clark's are. And we find out that he's actually sick from the bioweapon Kryptonian gas that Superman was hit with last episode in that fight in the DoD. And unfortunately, that has passed on to Jordan. So Jordan's now feeling the ramifications. They refer to it as a virus. Now, Lois does confront Morgan about what he is doing and actually tries to stop some of the people going into his program. It's not really working because Morgan's just been so good at convincing the people. And as we've seen previously in the season, it's been a really hard job trying to convince the people of Smallville that Morgan is the bad guy because he's bringing all this work in. And now we've had all this time afterward where the mines are going on and everything like that. So, yeah, it's a tough job for a tough hill for Lois to climb to actually try and convince these people. Now, Lana is actually offered the same thing that Emily, for example, has been offered in regards to this subjects type of thing, because, Leslie intercepts her conversation with Emily and then brought into Morgan's office and stuff. But she turns it down, so that's good for Lana. I was actually sort of worried at one point that she might have accepted it, but it sort of plays into the twist. So yeah, it was good that Lana avoided that because I think we need her on Team Lois and Clark throughout the rest of this season. Now, unfortunately for Jordan, he's getting quite bad. I don't know if anyone has this like thing that happens every year. I do, at least. There's always like this 2 week period of every year. I hardly get sick at all, but there'll be this 2 week period of the year where I'll just get super sick. And Jordan's experiencing that right now. So he's getting so bad that Clark has to take him to the Fortress of Solitude to fix him up. Now, we find out, and we learn, that the kryptonite actually has to be burnt out of Jordan. Now, I don't know if I was the only one, but I thought for a moment that Clark was just going to heat vision Jordan's chest or something. I guess it would have worked the exact same way with what happened with all the different like heat lasers coming down. And it might have been more controlled through Superman, but yeah, we got the wall lasers that fixed up Jordan. Now, obviously, General Lane, with the DOD and stuff, he's sort of responsible for what's happening with Jordan. Now, Lois confronts her father about the development of all these bioweapons and the Kryptonian bioweapon, or the kryptonite bioweapons, might I say, as well as just the general issues that he brings to her family. And this leads also Jonathan to talking to his grandfather about why he developed those weapons and where they stand and if they're similar or not. And it just ends up with him calling his grandfather a coward in the process, which, to General Lane's credit, which we'll get to, he goes against what Jonathan said there. So, General Lane wasn't made to seem like this like super bad person this episode. He sort of redeemed himself in some ways. Now, speaking of redeeming, we do have Kyle coming in clutch at the talent show for Sarah due to Jordan not being able to be there because Jordan's sick. He's sneezing up a storm and creating some snow cones at the same time. So Kyle comes in clutch, which sort of plays into what's going on with him, which some people I think are still confused by that. I'm not too sure why, because the show explains it at the end, but we'll talk about it. Now, Morgan knows that Superman is still weak due to the report from what happened in Mexico at the bank, with also Emily getting a calling. I was going to say call, but it's like a calling. It's like the sirens that Superman gets normally, and leaves the talent show while her daughter is performing, which is very weird. Lana points it out. It's like she'd never do that. So this traces back to what Lois was asking Lana about, if any of these people acting out of the ordinary, and because Lana might not know them overly well, she can't tell, but with Emily, she knows, and it's just like, yeah, well, Emily would never do that. With us seeing Emily and another of Morgan's subjects going to the Kent house and hunting down Lois and Jonathan. Now, General Lane redeems himself here, and it's lucky he's outside with one of the kryptonite bioweapons to help, like a grenade launcher thing, and is able to subdue these subjects for a while, at least, so Lois and Jonathan can get to some sort of safety. However, Kyle arrives to help in the barn, which was weird because he was just at the talent show with Lana and Sarah as Emily left. So how did he get there so fast? But we actually learn he has powers as well. He is one of these subjects. And this leads Kyle to just, casually arrive home and has no recollection of events. He just remembers blacking out at the talent show and coming to in a field with a sore body. And we learn that Kyle went to Morgan after his downfall from last episode. Now, when Emily was given her powers, they said, I think it was a 2-week period or something. They said there was some sort of period. I think they said 2 weeks. So is this a countdown where they have to try and rescue these people from being fully taken over by these Kryptonian consciousnesses or these identities or whatever it is? Or is it just 2 weeks until they're all powerful? There's no way to sort of take them, like snap them out of it. Because as Kyle says, they're blacking out. And I'm sure Emily's going to have the same thing. She's not going to have remembered what happened there. So I'm very curious to see who potentially else is affected by this. And like, it wouldn't surprise me too much if someone like maybe a General Lane is affected. I'm not too sure which way they're going to go about it. But they've opened up a can of worms, and I'm intrigued to see where they go with it throughout the rest of the season, because we still have I think it's 6 episodes to go after this one. So this feels like almost like a second or third last episode of the season, not a 7th last episode. So I can't wait to see what they do. Now, Chrissy does some research and learns that Leslie La and the other subject that Superman took on earlier in the season, which Leslie killed early on in the season as well, were originally from Smallville. They're from Smallville, and Lois and Clark figure out that Morgan actually needs the Smallville residents to build his army. Everyone else from these other cities, they're the ones that are failing. Smallville is the city he needs, and that's why he's been going to these different towns to pretty much test all this stuff out. And he's found the golden city, and that being Smallville, because they've been exposed to kryptonite and the surroundings long enough to stay stable and accept the hosting. So this would actually rule out someone like General Lane. So pretty much anyone there is up for bid. That's why Tag Harris seemed a bit unstable, but was able to come to and is normal now. He still has the powers and stuff, but he's not gonna blow up like we saw with Derek Powell and some other examples. So who else in Smallville is at risk? Who else? I'm sure there's going to be more that get taken, so let's see what happens. This army has to be big. There's only a few in there at the moment. It has to grow. But that wasn't the big reveal. We thought like Kyle having the powers and that Smallville was the main city that had to do all this stuff. We thought that was the big reveal. No, Superman and Lois is like, you know what? We got another one. Let's see how you like this one and how you have to wait a week for the next episode to potentially get the answer. We get Superman going out and he takes on Morgan Edge. But it's not Morgan Edge there in a normal suit and tie like we normally see him. It's complete in a new getup, a Kryptonian getup, black suit with powers. He is a Kryptonian and he refers to Superman as his brother. Now, this is going to cause a lot of theories, and a lot of people saying Zod. Is he Zod? Is he someone else? Is he from that Earth that John Henry Irons is from, the one that got destroyed and he had to move Earth because it just became this thing where it became unstable and this is the Earth he came to? I'm not too sure what it is. Is it a crisis change? I mean, I don't know what it is. Like, did this Morgan Edge exist before? Is the way he looks the way he has always looked? If he was raised on, if he like ended up being raised on Krypton? I don't know what they're gonna do. I'm so curious to see what they do. And I have no idea who it is. Like, I think Zod's probably the easy answer, especially due to the getup and everything like that. But we've had Zod in so much Superman material that I wonder if they'll go with someone else. There are some other potential options they could do, or maybe it's a combination of a couple. But yeah, you can let me know who you think it is in the comments, because I'm curious to see where it goes, because we still got a lot of this season to go. But boy, they keep on doing it. They keep on going strong, Superman and Lois. But yeah, overall, this episode, I mean, man, what more can I say? I think throughout my review, you know what I think of it. It was top-notch, multiple, whoa, reveals, and I just can't wait to see what they do. That's all I can really say. Just wow. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions about what we went over, or about just on this episode in general, and who you think that, Morgan Edge actually is. Is it Zod? Is another person? Let me know in the comment section down below, and just your general thoughts on this episode. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.